Hello and a very warm welcome to Meghan and Harry latest news YouTube channel. Another day and another book by another member of the Royal Rota. Another book full of anonymous sources making spurious negative claims that are then used by the media to add to the ongoing smear campaign against Meghan and Harry. Here we see in The Independent, Kate Middleton's Windsor walkabout with Harry and Meghan was one of the hardest things, royal author claims. King Charles's sons and their wives met with well-wishers in a walkabout outside Windsor Castle 2 days after the death of Queen Elizabeth II. So this is talking about that time, which of course looked very awkward. Well, it would be if they have fallen out with one another. Of course, there would be a sense of pretense about it, but they put on that pretense because the Queen had died, so I would imagine they would put their ill feeling to one side. But here we see a book now with Kate Middleton complaining about it, saying it was the hardest thing she's ever done, which is not surprising seeing that she hasn't done a real day's work in her life. Now, the royal family's motto is never complain, never explain, but what people still don't realise is that this is them moaning and complaining. They just do it through ghostwriters, like this Royal Rota reporter. This is how it works. They are always talking to the press. They call it anonymous insiders, but it's just them leaking it out. They are always complaining and explaining, and much of the time, this complaining and explaining that they do is laced with mistruths. It continues, the Princess of Wales reportedly found a walkabout with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle following the death of Queen Elizabeth II to be one of the hardest things she's ever had to do, a royal commentator has claimed in a new book. In an extract from the book, it says, Catherine later admitted to a senior royal that such was the ill feeling between the two couples, the joint walkabout was one of the hardest things she'd ever had to do. I would imagine the feelings were mutual, not that it was the hardest thing they ever had to do, but that it was very awkward. Only difference is Meghan and Harry wouldn't talk about this and leak it to a biased royal reporter to sell books and create headlines in order to make money. Out of curiosity, these royal reporters that write these books, which are full of anonymous insiders and gossip, does any of the proceeds go back to the firm? Do they have to pay any money towards them to use their names? Just a question I'm putting out there. I don't know, I'm just curious. If anyone knows anything about this, let me know in the comments. What we should take from these books and what is said in them and the stories that are apparently leaked from anonymous insiders, what we should understand is that it isn't necessarily the truth, but it's what the firm want to be leaked out. It's their version of events, and it's constructed to work in tandem with the toxic tabloids to create headlines that align with their agenda against Meghan and Harry. As we can see, this story is in numerous tabloids today. The Independent, New York Post, Sky News, Daily Mirror and more. What a scoop for the author of the book to get so much publicity. It's always the same, this is all arranged beforehand. It is stated in this article that the walkabout in question is an illusion, which to a certain extent is correct, as the two couples were obviously putting up with each other and it was awkward, but the book and the stories from anonymous insiders and gossip is also an illusion. Everything to do with the firm is an illusion, and these books and the royal reporters are all part of that illusion. One that ended up turning on Meghan and Harry because they became too popular with the public, which led to the prominent members of the firm feeling that they were being overshadowed, that Meghan and Harry were not staying in their place. So they launched the smear campaign, basically the prominent members of the firm moaning and complaining that they were not as popular as Meghan and Harry. And here we see again a member of the firm moaning and complaining that walking around and taking flowers was the hardest thing they ever had to do. And this has clearly been allowed to come out, as this is from a royal reporter in a book, and it's been chosen to be featured across the toxic media. So much for never complain, never explain. Let us know your opinion in the comments below, and I'll see you later.